Welcome back to the Start tutorial. I want to talk a little bit about now, for instance, the rotating boring bars. I'll click down here on the product tab where it says boring bars, and it brings up basically rough boring and finish boring. These are all rotating boring bars. So let's say I wanted to do a rough bore. So I can hit the filter here, type in rough. My options here are 2 teeth or 3 teeth. So let's say I want to have a two tooth, twin edge bore. If I knew it was going to be dampened or not dampened, let's say it was just a stubby bore, so I'm going to say, not dampened, hit OK. There's choices here for minimum and maximum bore. For instance, you can see here for twin edge rough boring we go from 25 on up to 1,000 millimeters. So let's say I had to do a 50 millimeter bore. So I can see 46. I would probably just go ahead and pick the minimum bore 46, hit OK, and it's going to have a range from 46 to 56. Now I've got a couple different options here. You can see here the difference is the lead angles. Let's say I want a 90 degree, and I'll just select 90. I've got two different options here based on the type of inserts. There's a TCMT or a CCMT. So what I'm going to do is I want the TCMT. So I'm going to go ahead and copy the product code, and there's also a gauge insert associated with that tool as well. So this is a C4 twin edge boring bar, the TCMT, and here's the product code. So I could select one and copy it and paste it, or I can actually take both in this case at the same time. And what you do is highlight both product codes and then right click and go copy. And if you go to quote lookup again, now if you notice here when I right click on this, I have a couple different options. If I just simply paste, I'm only going to get one of the product codes. There's a function over here called transpose. I haven't clicked on it, but you can see that it brings them in and it stacks them one on top of each other. So I'm going to hit the transpose, and that brought in my gauge insert. Of course, I can change the grade and chip breaker and so forth. Let's say it's a Cat 50 machine, and now I want to go add a C4 basic holder. So what I could do is go down here to basic holder selector. I need to hit the reset here to clear the filter. On the machine side, I'll just, you can either type in Cat 50 or just select it. Actually, it's bringing up both Cat 50 and Cat 50 Big Plus. On the tool side, I want a C4, so I can go down here and just go grab the C4 selection. And you can see there's a couple different options, a 40 gauge length and a 70. So let's say I want the longer one. So I'll click the 70, right click copy, go back to my quote lookup and hit paste. And now I've got an assembly. So let's say I have 10 inserts, one boring head, and one basic holder. One thing I wanted to point out here is if you at some point you need to add a line. Let's say I wanted to add a Capto extension in here. The best way, if you just right click, if you put your cursor here and right click and hit insert a row, you'll get a row, but you won't have any of the formulas in here. So the best way to add a row in between would be to go select a blank row from below. So I'll just go click here, right click and go copy. Then let's say I want to put it here right between 16 and 17, so I'll just click on 17 and I'll just right click and say insert copied cells. What that does is I've got a new a line here where I can put my Capto extension, and you'll notice here it hasn't messed up any of the formulas. So now I want a C4 to C4 extension, so I'll go back into modular. On the machine side it's going to be C4. And on the tool side, it'll also be C4 as well. So click on C4, and it brings up two different extensions, 60 millimeter and 80 millimeter. So if you notice here, this extension says segment clamping only. You wouldn't use that in a rotating application. That would be primarily for, say, a multitask spindle where it was using segmented fingers. So copy that, go back to my quote lookup, paste my part number in there, hit refresh, add a quantity, and my assembly is basically done. Thank you very much.